Greetings, Guardians. The Hijabi Gamer here, and I wanted to make a quick follow-up video to the video I released yesterday. So yesterday I released a 2.5-hour long video where I was reacting to a video by the Destiny 2 content creator Lucky 10p, where he's reacting to someone who's giving up Destiny after 10 years. I wanted to make this because there's several points he makes in that video that I felt needed to be highlighted and put separately because, I mean, most of it was at the end and 2.5 hours is pretty long. These takes he makes are just so monumentally, you know what, I'm going to be blunt. I'm not even going to apologize, all right? They're stupid. And if this is the direction that Bungie is going, I don't see Destiny 2 lasting very long. I'm just impressed that somebody who's basically a full-time Destiny 2 content creator can say these things and not realize just how, I'll say it again, stupid they were. I'm not sorry, Lucky 10p. If you're watching this, which I doubt, bro, how can you say these things without realizing just how off they are? So, first off, let's get it going. All right.
In terms of Edge of Fate, I think that the population is definitely lower, and Bungie is going with a whole new strategy, and it's a bold one. It's a bold one. Only time will tell if it does pay off. We've talked a little bit about what that strategy is. I don't want to sit here and recap the same thing 1,000 times over, but the strategy is, from Bungie's point of view, is to make the game for the players that play the game, basically. People that want to play Destiny 2 and invest their time have something to do. And so the Destiny fans, the people that are willing and interesting to grind the game are...
The funny thing is, all right, he's saying they want to make Destiny 2 for the people who want to play Destiny 2. First off, does he hear himself? Okay. So the majority of the people that I have seen who are leaving Destiny 2 at this point are not the casual, like, free-to-play people. They're not the people who, you know, every couple months jump in for a couple of hours and then jump out. No, the majority of the people I have seen who have told me, who've commented on his videos, have commented on Rick Kakis' videos, on Astacross's videos, on my X account, who've spoken on X, have all been people who have played the game for thousands of hours, have invested a lot of money into the game, want to play Destiny 2, but have realized this game has become a treadmill. They have reached an impasse. When you have content creators, Destiny 2, full-time content creators saying, yeah, I spent 30 hours running encore missions, or this guy himself saying, you need to run this mission 1,000 times. I highly doubt it's 1,000, but still, just saying that, how do you think Destiny 2 players feel? All right. The people who are turning away from Destiny 2 are not new people. They are not casuals. They are fans who love the game, want to play the game, and are fed up. Are fed up with hoping and being disappointed. And then looking at this grind and going, so you want us to grind for great stuff, only for it to become useless in a couple of months. So for you to say that Destiny 2 in its present state is for the true fans, you're... Really, bro? Only the true Destiny 2. I want to play Destiny 2. But I'm looking at it and going, this is a bit much. And again, I'm not alone. And let me add something else to that, okay? Because one of the things that somebody did comment in my live stream yesterday and pointed out, it's the fact that the vast majority of Destiny 2 players are what people like him would probably consider casuals. Okay, I'm not saying free to play, I'm saying fans, but keep in mind the majority of the people who play Destiny 2 cannot play it for 10 hours a day. I'm sure many of us would love to, but we can't. The majority are either in school, or they have a job, or they have other responsibilities, and they might come home from an 8-hour, 10-hour, whatever hour shift at work or at school and go, I have 2 hours to play a video game. Do I want to play Destiny 2 and grind the same mission over and over and over again? Or at this point, do I just want to play something else? We've reached that point where I'm not going to deny Destiny 2 has some great gunplay, some great gameplay. But again, when I am listening to people saying they've run the same missions 50, 60 times, and I look at my time and go, I have 2 hours after work to play a video game, and I'm not alone, you need to remember that most people aren't like him. And that's why when I hear people like him, Astacross, and Rick Kakis, their opinions at this point mean nothing to me, because you have reached the point where you can burn through the game as much as possible, get bored with the game, and then be like, why are you guys complaining? Kind of attitude.
Are not going to run out of too much. You know, now you've got this crazy power grind, and you're going to have these crazy tier 5 drops you're going to chase for, weapons and armor, and then all these little mini events along the way.
And how are you grinding for these level tier 5 drops? How are you getting them? How? Because, again, you're turning people away. People want the tier 5 stuff, but the way to get it is so grindy at this point that you are losing people who have played the game for thousands of hours. Okay?
Then, obviously, the raid, the epic raid, and everything that goes along with that. Hopefully this strategy does work for them. And
I don't need to remind you that the majority of people never even play the raid. The majority of Destiny 2 players, I was even surprised to find out what small of a percentage actually complete a raid. Okay? So saying, oh, yes, the raid, you're already dismissing a huge portion of the Destiny 2 player base.
They keep it's kind of like a niche community of people that play this game, right? We want to keep this niche community engaged and playing for a higher number of hours, a higher percentage than what they played prior.
So you want your niche community. This isn't going to work. Look, I am all for gatekeeping. Like everybody else, I have repeatedly said, we need to start gatekeeping our hobbies, because we are letting in anybody and they come in and they change it and they mess it up, right? The easiest, best example is Warhammer 40k, where you have people now going, we demand female space marines. There's never been female space marines, and there have never been female custodies, and there never will be female custodies, and that is something we need to gatekeep. I fully agree with him. We need to gatekeep Destiny 2 to a degree, okay? The fact that they made it free to start brings in anybody. The fact that I know for a fact that there are people coming into Destiny 2 just because of the representation, okay? These are people, yes, gatekeep. But there's a difference between just gatekeeping, keeping the people who love the game, play the game, enjoy the game, want to play the game, know how to play the game, and gatekeeping so high that you're driving away the vast majority of your player base. Because if you drive away the vast majority of your player base, you cannot maintain the game. Okay? Destiny 2 is very expensive to make. What happened after Final Shape did not meet profit expectations? It was by half. What happened? They fired people. People were laid off, and Final Shape did very well. Now, what's going to happen now when Edge of Fate had like 50% of the sales of Final Shape? What do you think is going to happen when you cut down the population of Destiny 2 to this elite niche? Layoffs are coming. And when layoffs come, you said it yourself in this video early, the layoffs led to less content. How many layoffs do you think are going to happen when, again, Edge of Fate sold like half of Final Shape? The only thing that could be said for this is people often point out that when someone plays a game, when someone is in the same game for more hours, they're going to spend more money on microtransactions. Do you really think, with half the sales for Edge of Fate, that microtransactions are going to maintain Bungie? They're not making very much money off of Destiny. Destiny at full price is $20. I saw it on sale for $5. Microtransactions, not many people are buying silver in Destiny at this point. So you're really not making money off of Destiny. You're not making money on Marathon. All of your money has to come in from Destiny 2. And if you're not selling Edge of Fate, you're relying on microtransactions. Now, the people who are playing Edge of Fate right now are the same people who have been playing it for the last couple of years. he brings up later new players, which I'll get into that as well. Given the history of layoffs, the player base, do you honestly believe that this game is going to be maintained with microtransactions? This is going to lead to layoffs. I fully understand gatekeeping, but you cannot gatekeep out the majority of your player base. And as I said earlier, okay, the majority of Destiny 2 players, while they're not the free-to-play, casual, are still people, adults. Most gamers are adults with jobs, responsibility, and lives, and want to play Destiny 2, but when you tell them you're going to spend the whole week, every day after work, you're limited to time playing a video game, doing the exact same mission over and over, and we're adding replayability by changing the modifiers. Do you really think they're going to stick around? We're seeing it's not working. So this, I cannot believe he said that and not realize the consequences of what he's saying.
That's kind of their main goal. They're not really adopting a bunch of new players at this point in time. It's not really new player friendly. And
this is the other thing he points out. He's saying that Destiny 2 is not new player friendly. Let me let him continue, because this also is a big mistake. And he has this attitude when you watch his video of it's all or none.
It's only going to get harder to be a new player in Destiny 2 because the systems are just becoming more and more complex, and we can try and make a bunch of simple guides and we can make a million little explanations on the screen, but in the end it's not as simple as it used to be, where you just load in the game and shoot your gun and that's it. It's just now you got all these stats, all these armors, all these exotics, all these abilities, aspects, subclasses, 3 different classes.
Wow, they have 3 different classes. Even if you were to include the subclasses in Destiny 2,
crazy movement, you name it, there's a lot going on, right? And that's a good thing, especially for people that like Destiny 2.
All right, you know what? Let me just say this. Okay. So you're saying that the game has become complicated, so it's not new player friendly. And that, you know what? I'm going to use the example of Warframe. People don't like it when I bring up Warframe, but this is actually something that 100% can be connected to Warframe. Because one of the biggest complaints everybody has about Warframe is it is not new player friendly. And Warframe is far more complicated than Destiny 2. He's like, we have 3 different classes. There are over 50 Warframes. The movement. Have you seen the movement in Warframe? I have a friend of mine, UA, who plays Warframe, and he watches me play Warframe. He's like, you play Warframe like a Destiny player. Because the movement in Warframe is far more intricate, and you can fly through levels, you can bullet jump, you can wall climb to a degree that does not exist in Destiny 2. You have hundreds of mods and stats, and again, over 50 Warframes. Warframe is far more complicated than Destiny 2. I know one person who says it was the opposite for him, but the vast majority of people will say Warframe is more complicated. And their problem is the new player experience. You want to know what Digital Extremes' approach to the whole problem with the new player experience? They're trying to fix it. Yes, it's been years, but they're finally doing something, and people are very happy. All right? First off, they added a new mission at the beginning that explains movement, weapons. It's a very basic mission, but it helps you. It even explains bullet jumping, which, if you're not a Warframe person, you may not know. Bullet jumping was created basically by the players. They figured it out, and instead of removing it from the game, Digital Extremes embraced it and now added it to the beginning tutorial. They recently announced that they are adding a new mission to the game. It's coming out in the fall to help new players understand modding. Because even me, after hundreds of hours in Warframe, will admit modding is ridiculously complicated. They have made the mastery rank. So every time you go up a mastery rank, it's a test you take. If you fail it, it used to be you would have to wait 24 hours before you could take it again. You don't have to wait those 24 hours. The relay stations, which are between the planets, it's these tests you take as you go between planets, right? They used to give you blueprints, and then you'd have to wait to collect the resources and build the weapon and wait for the weapon to be built. Now, several of these earlier relay stations will give you weapons. They have added, so Warframe is obviously free to play, so you have a limited number of slots for Warframes and weapons, and you have to buy more slots. Though they do give you slots in the game, part of the free battle pass. They've added more slots. They have listened to the player base and listened on how they can make it more new player friendly, how they can explain it better. It's a joke among Warframe players that if you want to start playing Warframe, you need Warframe on one screen and a tutorial on another, or you need somebody to help you get into it. But Digital Extremes knows this, and it's a complicated game, and they're trying to change this. This guy here is saying that Destiny 2 is too complicated for new players. Well, for one thing, you took out the beginning of the game. The beginning of Destiny 2 isn't there. You need new players. Your player base you are bleeding players right now. You need new people to come into the game. Now, I know another big deterrent is the price, which is why a lot of people have said you need to make some of the earlier content free. As somebody who bought it all at full price, do I like that thought? No, but I understand and I agree. You need to make some of the earlier content dirt cheap or free, or you're not going to get new players. You have to bring in new players. And to tell me that the game is too complicated to explain it to new players, again, you are saying that we want to maintain Destiny 2 as a niche community, throw out all the people that you think aren't fans enough or love the game enough, and not even bring in new people who could potentially be that idealized Destiny 2 player you have in your head. I mean, listen to what he says.
And it's a tough thing for new players to get in, so Bungie is, instead of doing what they did with Destiny 2 when it launched and they tried to make it like easier and more streamlined, they're going the other direction. They're making it more complex.
So basically he says you have two options when it comes to the new player experience. You can make it streamlined and easy, which, I mean, for me at the beginning of Destiny 2, the Cabal shields, you could shoot through them. That alone was enough to make me go, okay, you're trying to make it easier. You can make it easier like you did at the beginning of Destiny 2, or ridiculously complicated. And there's no in-between. There's no trying to make the new player experience better to help them grasp the game. You're implying that, what, Destiny 2 is the only complicated game there is. All right? There are a lot of games that take a while to learn how to use the mechanics, and they teach you how to use them. I can't think of very many at the moment at the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure people could comment down below and tell me games that require learning the mechanics over time. As I said, the reason I bring up Warframe is because this is a problem that people have been talking about for years with Warframe. As somebody who has introduced people to Warframe, and people always keep telling me, you constantly say only positive things about Warframe. Far from it. I have complaints about Warframe, and one of them is the new player experience. The fact that after hundreds of hours in Warframe, I still have difficulty modding. Okay? I'm looking forward to that mission. I'm loving... There was another instance where... I can't remember what they're called. The tokens you got to level up in what's called the Orvalis. And they realized that the system wasn't fair. And so they refunded people a whole bunch of these tokens so you can level up with what's called the Solaris. All right? They are constantly going back into the game and trying to see how they can make the new player experience better, the player experience better. Things that, like Warframe slots, which you can buy for real money, for platinum, or they will give them to you for free when you do different things, part of the free battle pass. So to actually say you can either have the game being ridiculously easy or complicated, and we want it complicated and it's not welcoming to new players. Again, bro, Lucky 10p, what are you talking about? You have to bring in new players. This will kill Destiny 2. You're not bringing in new players, and you're bleeding old players. What is the direction the game is going to go to? This reminds me of a YouTuber named Josh Strife Hayes. I love watching his content. He often talks about dying MMOs, and he often brings up different signs of an MMO dying and things you need to do to prevent it from happening. And one of the things he talks about often is the new player experience. He often jokes and looks at the trophies on Steam about what percentage of people make it to level 1. And he's like, if you lose 95% of your player base, because he's usually playing free-to-play games, that's a bad sign. If people aren't even considering Destiny 2, And the thing is, Destiny 2, while I say I have my problems with it going free to start, if people play Destiny 2 free to start and don't even consider buying it because they're so overwhelmed by the mechanics, because you don't have a good onboarding system for new players, no one's going to buy it. That's why I'm saying these takes he's making here will kill Destiny 2. Lucky 10p, bro, if you're watching this, like I said, watch Josh Strife Hayes. Look at his videos on Worst MMO Ever, where he talks about the problems and the signs of a dying MMO. And Destiny 2 technically isn't a full-on MMO, but they're making a lot of the mistakes that dying MMOs make. You need new players, and you need your loyal fans, or you will not be able to maintain this game. Anyway, I had to pull these out, and I want to hear what other people say. Yesterday, I actually went live because I want to hear what other people say. Thank you for watching. If you want, share this with Lucky 10p. I don't care. Share it with him because I genuinely want to know what is he thinking when he's saying don't bring in new players and gatekeep the game to the degree that you have a fraction of your player base. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the tower.